ever goes in. Nobody ever comes out.
Nobody ever comes out. Good morning. Can we have a 5x5 to check audio and visual? We've just had some weird stuff going on with Tinternet. It's strange, and I've had a few people in the comments that I see saying they can't see me on their television, but they can on their phone. Bizarre. This could be another thing which we are going to talk a little bit about this morning, about being silenced. Okay, this is for real. Okay, I'm going to show you what's been going on. It's quite shocking, actually. Sweet. Okay, so we got Time Lord, Cornish Bob, and John Farley. Thank you. You can see and hear me. Then that's a good start. Trust me. I went through my YouTube. Let me just come out of the chat because it's really like I checked my YouTube creator platform that we use, the YouTube Studio, and I was a bit surprised to find that, excuse me, 2 videos have been blocked, 5 videos have been demonetized, i.e. I can't earn any money from them. So what we are thinking about, even the one yesterday, you know, the Q&A I done yesterday morning, that's been demonetized already. Something must have been said or maybe shown, which the WokeTube algorithm does not agree with. And it's not just me. This is happening across the board. I know some of you watch me on a regular basis, and probably for some time as well, fully understand that when I say shadow banned, from what my experience is my videos are not being promoted by YouTube. It's crazy because I checked my analytics, and 2.7% of all notifications only got sent out. Yeah, so 97.3% of everyone who subscribed did not receive any notification at all. That is alarming in itself. I've had people say my comment's been deleted. Where's my comment? I can't find my comment. I know there's been a few YouTube videos that I've watched over the last 10 years, and every now and again I just pop on there to see if anyone's replied to my comment, and my comment's been removed as well. So I don't know if it's people like me doing stuff like this, which is happening to, or is it indeed anyone? They go on to any video, whether it's like a cat playing on a slide or whatever it is, and they put a comment and they go back to check and it's gone. It's very strange because when you are in your YouTube account and you go to see, you're literally logged in. So when you do comment, your comment is going to be top so you can see it. How many times have you had the same thing where you've left a comment, you go back sometime later, whether it's an hour, a year, whatever it is, only to find that it's vanished? Why is that happening? Not only that, I've had a friend of mine up near Liverpool, and he checked and he said, I am unsubscribed from your YouTube account, and he's been subscribed for years. Loads of people have been saying the same thing. Okay, now this is quite poignant for now, because we've only just had the release of Julian Assange from America on his way to Australia, Canberra, I believe. Now that is a significant milestone in the world of freedom and freedom of speech. Now I've had to put on the title of this video, "We Are Being Silenced," and I had to put selective Q&A, because what happened yesterday, I was answering as all of the questions, right or wrong. So it does appear that certain questions and certain what I'm talking about, the algorithm is picking up and saying, no, you're not going to earn any money from that YouTube video. So most of you are aware by now that this is my main full-time job now. I've literally quit the rat race. I've moved heaven and high water, sold everything I had to move out to the middle of nowhere. And let me tell you, it's a struggle, right? I think the common misconception is that, you know, people on YouTube who make videos like myself, you know, I've got 134,000 subscribers, and that is a big number. It's going to literally probably almost double fill Wembley Stadium. It's a lot of people. So why is it that 97% plus are not being notified every time I post a video? That's why I regularly request that if you are subscribed, please check that your notification bell is turned on to all notifications. Because if you set it to all notifications, and indeed you subscribed, if you used to find out that, oh, I haven't heard any videos from Funky for ages, let's go and have a look, and then boom, you're unsubscribed, or your notification settings, which you set to all notifications, has been turned off. Let me know in the live chat if that's happened. And like I said, I was shocked to find that 5 of my videos have been demonetized, i.e. you don't earn any money. So from someone like myself, and indeed there's a few others out there who rely on YouTube income as their main source, it's a nightmare. In fact, it's been so scary that it's going to be a struggle to pay the bills from where I'm living. That's how bad it's got. Gone are the times where I do a 5-minute video and it's made 500,000 views. Great. But to hit that consistently is pretty much impossible. I've seen YouTube channels with 1 million, 2, 3 million subscribers, and when you look at the views that they're getting and the thumbs up and stuff, it doesn't make sense. Something's not adding up. But let me tell you this, if I was to talk about and promote the mainstream narrative world viewpoint, i.e. this sort of stuff, and doing all of this was a really good idea. And those poor minority of people who are confused about their sex, etc. If I was to talk about them and bigging them up, I'm sure I would be fine. Even the Black Lives Matter, you know, it's a great organization. Everyone should support them, and everyone should be out, you know, waving their Palestinian flags, etc. If I was to talk about all of that, we would not be in the situation we are in now. Now, I feel that I am talking on behalf for loads of other YouTube content creators. I'm not really keen on the term YouTuber. It's sort of, it's almost like my mate Roach said about soldiers, is unhappy. It doesn't sit well with him, the term squaddy. He prefers to be called a professional soldier. And I see it exactly the same way. I am a YouTube content creator. I'm not just a YouTuber, because it just drives me nuts with all of that sort of thing. So freedom of speech. Do you know, there was, I was into hip hop a long time ago. And when I was in America, West Coast, I remember buying the Ice-T album. And one of the tracks on there was freedom of speech. Just watch what you say. Now, when I hear the lyrics back on that, this was 1989. It's so prevalent to what we are seeing now. And in fact, he done one track which delves into martial law. Shut Up, Be Happy, the title of that track was called. Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. The majority probably won't. But what I'm trying to get to is we have a God-given right to say whatever we like. This is a basic human right, freedom. We are all entitled to our opinions, okay? We absolutely are. And of course, not everyone is going to agree or enjoy other people's opinions. But from my journey, I'm 52 years old now. In my experience, if someone says something and I disagree with, or this is a classic, if I watch a YouTube video and the guy or the girl is talking about something that I don't like, disagree with, do you know what I do? I just stop watching and I watch something else. I will not lower my vibrational tone to put a vile, hateful comment, okay? Because what happens when you get offended? Nothing really happens, okay? So we've talked about this before, about positive energies, about people being triggered, okay? So you're scrolling through your feed, you subscribe to certain channels, and they decide to show something really bad that really winds you up, okay? Now, if you enjoy feeling like that, wound up and stressed out about something, apparently, I don't know if this is true, it takes 7 hours for the human body to cancel out that anger. And that's just one little moment where you go, oh, for God's sake, 7 hours for that low energy to leave the body. Okay, so it's very difficult to navigate your way through social media without feeling some sort of anger or you disagree with something somewhere. So, like I say, if you can, try and take a leaf out of my book. If something is said that really pisses you off, or you're watching something and you think the guy's doing a video and he's doing it wrong, whatever it is, you can leave a comment under the guise of constructive criticism. But one of the most important things that I try to promote on this channel and indeed our community, is whatever you type in a comment, please be respectful. Okay, it's easy not to, but we need to sort of try and show ourselves in the best light possible. Okay, even when I was in shopping yesterday, there was a couple, and the woman said to the guy, or presuming it's a husband or boyfriend, said, "Oh, go over and get some milk." I thought that's not really a nice, respectful way to request something. If it was me, I said, "Oh, can you do us a favor? Can you just get us a pint of milk?" It's a lot different, see. And I'm seeing this in comments. People seem to have been desensitized, and they don't really care about other people's how they feel, and basically just showing themselves in a good light. So the freedom to express ourselves is all there, but all I'm saying is if you leave a comment on a video, someone's doing something wrong and you're trying to help them and educate them, please try and do it respectfully. So you can say something like, "Oh, you're doing it all wrong. Your file late is wrong. You screwed up. You're not very good at this, are you? You're a dickhead," right? And then you can do exactly the same and say, "I realize what you're trying to do, but I've tried this before and I know what you're going through. All you need to do, what I found out, is try to do it this way and it might help. Cheers, great video." Two different completely things, but they mean the same. You're trying to get your point across in a respectful manner. So when we're looking at this freedom of speech stuff, it's just a frigging nightmare. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a QA, despite my video being demonetized yesterday. But I'm going to have to be selective. I'm trying to get the point across. I don't even know if I can show pictures to illustrate what I'm talking about. And I'm getting to the point now. I really have to think before I say certain things. And it's a horrible predicament to be in. So there's other YouTube guys out there. Richard Vobes is a good, close personal friend of mine. We stay in contact quite a lot. And he is in a much different and sound financial footing than I am. So I would assume, right or wrongly, that if he was to get loads of his videos demonetized and he gets banned for a week, which has happened before, it's not really going to affect him the same way as it would affect me. Because like I'm saying, this is my livelihood and I'm trying to raise awareness about what's going on because most of us have families and we don't like the idea of our children and our grandchildren growing up in the world which is being manipulated and sculpted to favor a very mere few people on the planet. And the overwhelming majority of people on the planet are struggling in so many different ways. There's an absolute myriad of ways that people are suffering because of what's going on. We talked about it before. Ever since 2020, it was almost like a fire button got pressed. The Georgia Guidestones were destroyed. And then guess what? You have to be blind not to see it. But the amount of change that's happened in 2020. And we can talk about political correctness. Who remembers when that nonsense came in? You know, there had to be a sign saying to people, danger, there's a hole in the floor, or do not climb up that ladder, it's dangerous. You know, I would like to think that as an adult, especially over the age of 18, that we are free to make up our own mind. If we choose to drive a car without a seatbelt 100 miles an hour on a motorway, that's that person's choice. Only for the police to fine people for not wearing a seatbelt is crazy. Before the 70s, there weren't any seatbelts in cars. I took a friend of mine to a classic car rally recently, and all of the cars had no seatbelts. They didn't have power steering. They didn't have ABS brakes. Yet, look at the deaths, what happened in vehicles like that compared to what's now. It's crazy. In fact, people were safer back then than what they are now. And this is with all of the technology, and we're trying to make people safe. Now, how many times have you heard that through history? We're doing this for your safety. Now, if the government or other bodies, should we say, if they really do believe that they want to keep us nice and safe, so you would think, wow, that's really nice. They want to keep us safe. That's really kind of them. So when you think of what else they're doing, what about if you go to hospital, the treatment that you get? In the NHS, it's terrible what you get. And I'm not knocking the staff. They try their best with what they got. All I'm saying is as human beings, we deserve to be treated a lot better, but we're not. We're getting taxed to the hilt. We're getting fined. We're getting charges. We're getting fees. So the world is run on a monetary system. So basically, if you haven't got any money at all, you're going to really, really struggle. In fact, you are probably going to be living on the streets or sofa surfing at some point. The appeal to enter the strange world of petty crime not only becomes a good idea, but a necessity. And this is what happens. You've got the opposite ends of the scale. You've got the extreme wealthy, and I'm not talking about the Forbes rich list. We're talking way beyond that. The Forbes rich list compared to the real movers and shakers of this planet is just pocket change. I am not exaggerating. It's pocket change. So George Bezos and Musk and all of the others, they've got all of this money. Well, the real people who we're never going to know who they are, they have got that 1,000-fold plus. It's just unbelievable. The unfair distribution of wealth on the planet is insane. And we've already talked about what's been happening since 2020 with different people entering the UK. And I've seen it in comments under certain videos. If you let the third world into your country, expect your country to then become third world. That makes absolute sense when you look at it, especially when you see the majority of the population in the Western world now changing wholesale. It's growing big time. We spoke about it before. Wessex Blades, good to see you, buddy. I missed you at the prepper meet. I was really hoping to see you, but hopefully you can make it in September. We got a lot of catching up to do, mate, and I'm fully aware of all of the content that you've been sharing with me privately, and it's good to see, because let me tell you this, Scott, there's so many people out there who haven't got the balls to talk about this stuff. I am walking a very fine line, even with this live stream right now. There's things I can say and things I can't say. To have 2 videos blocked and removed permanently and have 5 videos demonetized where you get no money at all is hard. But nonetheless, I believe in my core that what I'm doing is the right thing. I'm calling it, I'm acting on instinct. My intuition, my gut feeling is telling me, look, you've got the opportunity to reach a lot of people and try to get people to think outside the box compared to the average Joe who believes in mainstream media. He spends all of his or her time and energy on fashion and sports and alcohol and tattoos and smoking and all the rest of it. We need to appeal to these people. Now we know how frustrating it is trying to alert these peoples into what's going on, because the only way that we as a body of people in the human race are going to make change is the majority need to be on our side. Okay, all of this pride stuff, the woke stuff, the BLM stuff, the Just Stop Oil stuff, all of these people have been absolutely 100% down the line been hoodwinked, and they believe in their core that they are doing the right thing. Where to someone like myself, and I know lots of you watching right now have an inquisitive mind, and we question things. Why? Because we are learning over how many years, everyone's different, to really trust their intuition, their gut feeling. So it's quite simple when you see it in that way. Okay, if it feels wrong, don't do it, or just say no. See, this is the problem. Lots of people are scared. Why are they scared? Because they are worried about what other people think about them. Okay, it's taken me a long time to learn that, and not just to learn it, but to put it in practice. Okay, you really do have to walk your own path in this, and I know everyone is at their own different levels of development, awareness, whatever it is. But when it all boils down to is this: we have the right to say whatever we want to say, and if someone gets upset or offended, it's down to them to look after. Did you know that if you get offended or really upset, sometimes, not all of the time, it's someone mirroring what you're going through, what you're thinking and what you're feeling? And if you're really pissed about it, well, maybe they've got a point. Maybe it's true. Maybe you're reacting in a way that you don't like it because you're being exposed. A good thing to do is to take that, go somewhere private and think about it, and just ask yourself, was that person right about me? Am I really coming across as Billy Big Bollocks? Am I really that much of an ego guy? You know, my cat's blacker than yours, my car's faster than yours. It really, when you hear someone acting that way, you have to say, well, why are you doing this? And ego is a very complex and crazy realm of research to look into. You've got conscious and subconscious. When we're asleep, we feel that we're out of control. We have weird dreams, we have nightmares, etc. So when you're awake and you're conscious and you hear someone saying stuff like, oh mate, what car you got? Oh, so and so. Oh, that's crap, my one's this. And you think, wow, that poor guy feels like he's being attacked in some way. But nonetheless, he's got the right to say that. And all we can do is try and mirror it back to them in the hope that they learn about themselves. Because this is, I think, when you talk deep about all this, I think the main reason why we are here in this existence is to learn and evolve in every level that you can imagine. Be the better person than what you are. You will, if you're following your intuition, doors will open. People will just literally randomly, seemingly randomly appear. It's crazy. This happens. And the more that you trust this process, the more that you walk this path, and you really start to recognize and understand, wow, I hear myself say it daily. What are the chances of that? What are the odds? How many of you do the same? It's unbelievable. And we've spoke about the correlation between seeing like-minded numbers on our phones or digital clocks, 10, 10, 11, 11, 22, 22. The more times that you see these numbers, the more it seems that you're being told that, yeah, carry on, you're on the right path, keep doing what you're doing. And even if it's like myself, you know, finances are absolutely bottoming out because I'm being banned, because I'm talking about this stuff. It's crazy. So with all of that being said, what I'd like to do now is to run the Q&A, because I am not, and I refuse to live in fear. I believe what I'm doing is the right thing, and I'm going to do it. And I know that Google now own YouTube, and Google is a very nefarious organization, to say the least. Okay. So if anyone's got any questions about anything, especially regards freedom of speech, can you please put them in capital letters so I can read them? Now, I'm going to apologize in advance that I don't read all of them, because like I've just been talking about for 20 minutes now, I have to be selective. Because if I answer every question like I've done yesterday, guess what? That video will be demonetized. I won't be able to pay my rent, my bills, run my car, I won't be able to eat, etc. Now, fortunate enough for me, I am a true prepper. I've got a year's worth of food. I've got all of the kit and equipment that I need. But unfortunately, we still need to make money somehow. People literally was in shock when I told them, when I done the prepper meet, I had to pay for my own ticket and my partner's. I did. I didn't make one single penny from that. And people were saying, well, you should take at least £5 off everyone else for yourself, because you're the one organising it and putting the effort in. So I am learning, and it's very, very difficult to try and explain, but I am learning how to value myself, because I've always, for a long time now, put other people first, and to the detriment of my own well-being. What do I mean? Well, I'm making sure that everyone's okay. I'm advising them for free. And at the end of the day, my finances are going like this. And at some point, I have to conclude and say, wow, this is all really good, helping people and educating myself and learning as well. But what about me? What do I need to do? What makes me happy? How am I going to earn a living? Everyone else has got a job, they've got money, etc. What about me? Now, this is really important, and it's hard. Okay. You know, you can be, say, an artist, and you've never sold a painting or a picture before. And then you do this piece and it's taken you like 2 weeks on and off, say 3 hours a day for 2 weeks. When you add that up, like an hourly rate based upon your skill and how long it's taken you to acquire that skill and maybe that qualification and the materials, etc., you add all of that up, and that will give you a true representational cost of what that painting is worth. So when you're not valuing yourself, you're not respecting yourself, you're going to let that painting go for 100 quid. Where when you look at the hours that is spent, you can break it down and you can say, well, if I sell that painting for 100 quid, I'm basically paying myself 25 pence an hour. Now, who in their right mind would ever do that? And I'm sure lots of people out there who create things will have the same thing, because they are worried what other people think. People are going to say, bloody hell, did you see how much that painting was? Wow, that's a fortune. But they've got no idea of all of the years that they had to go through college, through university, to get a master's degree, whatever it is. That costs a lot of time and a lot of money to be at that level where you are confident that you can create your own work, buy the expensive brushes, the expensive paints, the expensive canvases, put in all of that time, only to not value yourself and let that painting go for 100 quid, where in reality it's worth easily £1,000. And this is the same thing. This is why I do the prepper meet, and I try to do it as cheap as I possibly can, because I know, myself included, we are all struggling. Okay, so I found somewhere right in the middle of Wales is absolutely beautiful, and it's £11 a night. Yes, we're talking in peak season. That's just unheard of. You can go to so many campsites around the UK this time of year, and it's very expensive. Okay, so it's just one of those things. So I'm going to pop into the chat. Yeah, Scott, I hear you, mate. Adverts on vids. Yes, that is very intriguing. The advertisements that appear on the videos. To be fair and minimal-minded about this situation is, if you create a video about BMX bikes and you talk about it, only to watch it back and to see an advert about L'Oreal hair shampoo, what correlation has that got? You would expect to see some sort of advert tied into what the content is about. So yeah, good point, Scott. It's really interesting. It's really horrible. This is really sad, actually, to go through the comments and say, I can't talk about that. Someone said, can you not use Rumble? I've got a Rumble account. But the thing is, Richard Vobes and I had exactly the same thing. To watch Rumble is quite easy. But if you create in effect, you create two accounts. One is an account, and one of them is a channel. It's very confusing. And I set this up 2 years ago, and I don't even know if it works. It's ridiculous. And there is loads of information that come out that Rumble is absolutely controlled opposition. Odyssey is a very good platform. So every time you upload a YouTube video, it automatically goes onto there without doing anything. It's really cool. So it's crazy. I'm just going through the chat where Scott's is. Finland starts something to do with stuff that flies around and pointy things. Yeah, I spoke about it before. Incidentally, how many of you have had aches and pains and a bit of a cough over the last 2 months? Let me know. I'd be really interested to hear of this, because I've had it and other people have had it, and I don't know to what extent other people have. So if you've had a bit of a cough and you don't even smoke, and it's not like you, and you'd be getting really bad aches and pains, and you know, sometimes when you get that feeling right in the back of your throat that it feels like you're just about to come down with a cold, but it's been like that for 2 months, not actually had a cold. Sometimes a little bit of a runny nose, nothing major. Let me know if any of you are having it. I'm right at the current part of the chat. Someone said, do I have TikTok? Yeah, I had to create a TikTok account. I've put one video on there because my feelings were that someone else would use my name and put all of my videos on there, and they're going to be the ones getting the accolades for it, which I think is disgraceful and entirely unfair. Yes, unfortunately for my sins, I did open a TikTok account. I put one video and I've left it. I've just walked away. I don't even like the idea of TikTok because of how it's run. But I know that most information stems from TikTok. It goes through to Twitter, it goes through to Instagram and all the rest of it. But it does seem that the primary first port of call is TikTok. So yeah, maybe I need to go into that. But you know, my thoughts are, my intuition says, just don't. It's a filthy platform. We all need to stand up and take the UK back. Yeah, I fully understand and I agree. Oh, thank you for that, as Oliver. I really appreciate the support, especially when my videos are being bloody censored. So we're going to go through. We're trying to understand if anyone's been having these cold-like symptoms over the last few months, because, like that someone said earlier, Scott, I haven't really been ill. Yeah, do you know what, Scott? I didn't have a single cough or cold over all of last winter. I was taking on a regular basis really good vitamins, and I was fine. But I've stepped off of that, and now this is happening. So I might have to go back to buy more vitamins and getting those sorted out. Oh yeah, William, and the second word is what you open before you walk into a house for a garden, if you know what I mean. Again, I'm sure of it. Yeah, I agree. I agreed. Here's a good question. Thank you for that, Julia. What is currently a better alternative to Google? I'm presuming that you mean a search engine. The one that I use on a regular basis is called Brave. Okay. And when you get Brave, there's another option you can use, and it's called Smart Page, I think it's called. And then extra on top of that, most of the websites will have the option for anonymous view. That's been tested by lots of like clued up people in the realm of cybersecurity, etc. And that one is by far the most safest search engine that I'm aware of. Other people might disagree. I do know that there is a lot of misinformation about DuckDuckGo. There was rumors going around for quite a while that DuckDuckGo was acquired by Google. And when I looked into it, apparently it hasn't. So let me know if you know any updates on that. But for the moment, Brave, Brave. Once you've got that installed on your phone, there's another option. I think it's called Start Page. I think it's called Start Page, maybe not Smart Page. And when you get that on there, it's really good. I've had a few friends of mine who know about these things, and they've run some tests and they weren't tracked. When they installed the Telegram app and started following all of these truth channels on Telegram, the shocking find was they were tracked everywhere. So when I hear that from people who really know this shit, and I've known these people for years and I trust them, when they say that, I do not go on Telegram. Okay, do not, because it's been tested and the results are bloody hell. Did you know how bad Telegram is? It just copies and tracks everything that you do. So yeah, that is a big no in my opinion. But no, good question, Julia, and I hope I've answered it correctly. Oh, thank you very much for that. Hong Kong dollars. Wow. Duke 1972. Mr. Times, you were smoking in your tent. Now all changed. Yes. Do you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm really getting the feeling that I need to be in nature. I need to go back to the videos that I was doing when I started this channel. And some of you, I don't know how many are in the chat right now, will have remembered way back in 2012 in January when I started this channel, I was doing videos of going into the woods with all of the kit and equipment which I've researched, which I believe would be up to the task should we face an Armageddon where everything goes to shit and we need to literally leave the towns and cities and try our best to survive on the move in nature, in the outdoors. So those were the videos which I really love doing. But the problem is, when I was doing those videos, I had a full-time job. Okay, so that was like a hobby, and it didn't really earn any money. Now, I've said this the other day. If I was to decide to go back to doing all of those videos, testing kit and equipment, making sure I know what works, and listen, I've stuck by this right from day one. If I'm showing any kit and equipment at all, I fundamentally agree and stand by the quality of that kit and equipment. You're never going to see me make a video showing kit and equipment which is inferior, which is shit, which will let you down. I will never ever do that. And the amount of people who have thanked me personally and via emails, etc., saying thanks so much for recommending that. I've got it, and I agree. It's tough as coffin nails. It's brilliant. It's extremely well made, and the price is quite reasonable for what you're actually getting. I always stand by that. So don't worry if I talk about things like this, the Lifesaver thing, which I'm sure you've seen the links below. You can get discount on it right now. This is made in England. It's incredible stuff, and I'm only going to associate myself with companies that are good quality. Okay, I am not ever going to be doing videos on kit and equipment from Combat UK, from Highlander, Webtex, and all of that sort of thing. I don't agree with it. Now, that's quite crazy, blanketing the whole lot. Maybe there's a few items which those companies do, which are quite good. But from my experience, every item that I've used and tried from those companies I've just mentioned have all let me down. It's all failed. So I've just give up pursuing the cheap road, okay? Because my core feelings on this is, if when shit gets really bad, you want kit and equipment that will not let you down. Okay, I can't think of a worse scenario when everything goes to shit. You grab your go bag, your bug out bag, and you're yomping 15 miles a day, and you're staying covertly in out of towns, at the edge of towns or villages, or in the woods or in the hills, whatever it is, only to find you start using that kit and things start to break, things start to run out. It doesn't work anymore, because at that moment in time, you won't be able to go to a shop and replace it. This is why I have took it upon myself to stop watching television. Why? Because it's gave me time to research these bits of kit and equipment. I stopped subscribing to Sky Sports, Sky Movies. Why? Because I am now getting more money for myself. I am not going to be getting tattoos. I'm saving money. I am not going to be smoking and saving money. I am not going to be going to the pub every weekend to save money. I am not going to be getting a season ticket for football. I am not going to go and buy what the latest celebrities wearing clothes wise. I'm not going to do that. I've removed myself from all of that back in 2008, a long time. And that time frame from 2008 till now, because I've removed myself from all of these money outlaying traps, I've accrued a fair bit of money, and I've used that money to get good, solid pieces of kit and equipment, because I don't want to be in a scenario in the future where I have spent all of my money on all of the crap that I just talked about, only to have very little left and bought the cheap shit, which lets me down. Because we're talking about survival now, okay? What you are basically doing is you're saying, I choose to buy this cheap kit and equipment because I don't value myself. That's basically what you're saying. Because you've put Sky Sports, tattoos, drinking heavily, buying crappy clothes before your own personal needs. We're talking when you boil away all of the piss, the most important thing for you is you. Now, if you've ended up spending all your hard-earned money over the years on crap, and then you're waking up to all this and you spent the cheapest crap that you can get, only to find that it's going to let you down, it could put you in a life or death situation. It's that serious. So those are the videos which I used to do. But the problem with that is, and I used an example very recently. Let me see if I can find it on here. Right. If I go to my YouTube channel, and I go through videos, and I have to try and go back to when I've done that. It's probably this time last year. So I've got to go back a fair bit. Nine months ago. Oh, we're getting there. God, I've done a few videos. Here we are. Right. Okay. Bear with me, boys and girls. I'm glad you're all chatting amongst yourselves, etc. If I go to YouTube Studio and I go to content and I put filter, Oh, okay, that's not very good. Not sure how to do this. Why when it age restriction, copyright description, monetization, views? Here we are. Oh god. God, this is so crazy. Oh, I don't understand it. But yeah, okay. What I'm going to show is put it onto there. Now, this video, right, I'm going to show you on the screen now, right? This video, 27 hours alone in a mountain forest. When I broke it down, the time it took to do that, that was 6 days work. 6 days work to do a 2-hour feature-length video, which it took me ages to perfect. I had to go and buy the microphones, which are nearly £300. The camera was nearly £1,000. It took ages to produce this video, and it's all about surviving in the woods on my own for 27 hours in a beautiful part of Wales. And as you can tell, it's had 16,000 views. 16,000 views. Right. 16,000 views, 6 days work, £28. Who would work for £28 for 6 days work? How many people do you know that do that? So this is, I've done that for a good reasons. I wanted to see if loads of people would love to watch that sort of thing. They didn't. And I know it probably sounds crazy based on people's perspectives, but 16,000 people sounds like a lot of people. But when you've got 134,000 YouTube subscribers, and then I sit down on my sofa and I talk about the UK government banning wood burning stoves, a 5-minute video, the whole thing took me half an hour to make. That had 500,000 views. That earned £1,000. So do the maths. And like I said, if I had a full-time job and I found time outside of my relationship, my family life, and everything else, I'm living on an acre plot in the middle of nowhere, which takes a lot of time to maintain. There isn't any time to do any content at all. So the only way I can do this is to do it full-time. Now, this is a fundamental difference between the content that I've been doing, the content that is popular, because when I started talking about the truth and doing live streams, it was right at the end of 2021. Okay, right at the end of that time. So I found myself out of work with a family in the middle of nowhere, and it was sink or swim time. I could have literally gone, oh my God, the only options that I've got is to be a farm labourer on £10 to £11 an hour, to work as a post office guy driving a van around at £12 an hour. They were the only options I really had within a local vicinity of where I live. It wasn't an option. It was nowhere near enough to pay the bills and to keep me and my family alive. Just not enough. So I had to make a go of YouTube. And luckily, thanks to people's support, my channel grew from 70,000 subscribers to 134,000 subscribers based upon the content that I was doing. And the content that I'm doing is what I'm doing right now, is alerting people and giving people the heads up and advice on kit and equipment and the wonderful word of preparedness, because we are living in freaking seriously bad, dark, changing times. And that spoke volumes. So that told me the audience wants to hear more of this, because there's no way that you can double practically your YouTube channel in 2 years if you're doing it wrong. I could have decided, no, I'm going to carry on and do some outdoor camping videos and a few kit reviews. I guarantee you that from the end of 2021 till now, I would not have 134,000 subscribers. Not a chance. I'd be lucky to get 5 to 10,000 more subscribers. Therefore, not earning enough money. Therefore, I won't be able to do it. And there was a potential that I would stop making YouTube videos forever. That's how crazy it is. And that is the truth. Some people will say, you know, oh, we want you to do your camping videos. We want that. I get it. And I would really love to. The only way that I could do that is to get myself on a sound financial footing and then slowly migrate over to doing more of those videos. So Duke, I completely get it, and I'm sorry I went on a bit trying to explain the processes behind that. Ed, thank you for that. I'm seriously grateful, because I'm hoping that this video doesn't get demonetized as well. It shouldn't really be, because I don't believe I've talked about anything really controversial. Navigating my way through the minefield of the YouTube algorithm, which obviously doesn't want us, other YouTube content creators, talking about. So yeah, those donations really help, like you wouldn't believe. Okay, there is one guy in here, I don't know if he's here, Carl McPhee, but without his help, I really don't think I'll be able to do this. It's that serious. So Glass, Future and Broken Dreams, thank you so much. You donated last night. You didn't have to do that, and you're a member, so that really supports. I really appreciate that. Seriously awesome. So I'm scrolling down, looking through the comment section to find capital letter questions. Scott, ribeye steak. Oh, Scott, listen. There's a bargain for you. I know that you work for Tesco's, but go to Aldi. They do a Big Daddy steak. Okay, I think it's a 28-ounce rump steak. It's huge, £5. And I'm not joking, they are good. Okay, all you need to do is let it come to room temperature, put kitchen paper around it to take all the blood out, light coating of oil, barbecue it, whatever you want to do it. It's frigging amazing. So yeah, because when I looked at a sirloin steak in Tesco, it's like this. It was tiny, and it was about 12 millimeters thick, and they wanted £7 to £8 for it. I nearly set fire to it out of protest. So I know you like your meat, Scott. I had a steak last night in the barbecue, because £5 on a barbecue, that was my tea. That's all I had. Duck, duck, go. Yeah, good. Oliver, well, thank you for that super sticker. I seriously appreciate your help. We've got 400 people in the chat. Oh my God, John Baldwin, you don't have to do that. John Baldwin is an awesome guy. He's a moderator and is a member, and he's put this amazing donation. Thank you for that, John. I really appreciate your help. Anything online is recorded, but no DuckDuckGo is being slandered. Yeah, I've heard so much things about DuckDuckGo. I used to use it all the time, but I use Brave now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Right, okay. So all of you guys who don't know about Brave, I know some of you do, but like everything, you know, everyone's at different stages. They probably don't know. But here it is. You get the browser that puts you first. It blocks ads, data, faster web pages, private search, less SEO spam, and zero profiling. Wow, they're putting AI in there to make sure that it all filters out the crap. And it's got a really good VPN. Personally, I use Proton VPN, and I pay for that. And you get the what do you call it? You get the encrypted email as well. A really good service by Proton. It blocks third-party ads on the websites. That video ads, search ads, social media ads, and more. And those annoying accept cookies, pop-ups. You don't get to see any of that. How many times do you go on a website and it says, oh, you've got to accept cookies? It's a pain in the bollocks, right? Use this and you don't see in it. It's really cool. It saves time, battery, privacy. This comes out top in every single search engine. And I'm not sponsored by these. I'm not paid. I'm not affiliated with these in any way. It's something that a fellow subscriber and a close friend of mine said to me years ago. Try this, it's brilliant. And when I got this to my friend to get him to check, and he said, wow, he said, that's really tight. It's really safe and secure. So Brave is really good. Okay, I can recommend that. DuckDuckGo, I'm literally 60-40 on it. 60 yes, 40% I am skeptical, because there was loads of rumors saying Google own it, but apparently Google don't. But nonetheless, when you compare DuckDuckGo to Brave, Brave is the clear winner by a country mile. It's insane. So yeah, if any of you guys are pissed off of these cookies and you're worried about your privacy and your data being harvested and sold, use Brave. It's really good. Right, so there we go. Gratitude. Yeah, exactly. Brave's awesome. So I'm just going and looking. Oh, thanks for that again, John. Moderators in the house. Yeah, the thumbs up really helps this video go out there. But we are really concerned about freedom of speech, and Brave is a very good point, and I'm glad someone brought that up. Do you know what? That's never a true word spoken in the history of mankind. You get what you pay for, okay? You go and buy a Euro hike sleeping bag for, say, £50, and it's rated to, like, I don't know, 0 or -10. You can go and get yourself a practically new Arctic Army military issue one for the same price, and it will go down to -20. Yeah. It doesn't have to be expensive. You just have to be savvy. That's one of the reasons why I use lots of military kit, because it's really, really well made, lots of it, and it's cheap as chips. Way cheaper than some rab bullshit feather lofted bloody sleeping bag that costs £400. You get that sucker wet, you're in the shit. Okay. Always go synthetic, especially in the country where it rains a lot. Fair enough if you're in a desert and it's dry. Yeah, get a down bag so it gets cold at night. It probably won't rain. But down sleeping bags in the wet, you've got Gore-Tex bivvy bags if you don't mind climbing in and out of a Mr. Freeze tube when you're busting for a pee. But yeah, you get what you pay for. It's true. So people who spend their money on loads of crap that's not good for them, the stuff that is good for them, and they want it to protect them, if they spend little on that and then something bad happens, they've only got themselves to blame, in my opinion. John Farley, thank you very much for that. Keep up the good work. I try my best. I really do. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. If I can't drive my car over it. Scott, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. Do you remember the videos that we've done on through night torches and low light torches and all of that? We drove over them. And to my knowledge, no, I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but I've looked and I can't find any. I was the first YouTube channel to get a torch, to turn it on, to put it in a container, fill it with water, and put it in the freezer overnight, to take it out, and for that torch to be frozen in a block of water. I was the first person, to my knowledge, who've done that on YouTube. And since then, loads of people have done the same thing. But I've actually driven over them. So, Scott, I know exactly what you're saying there, dude. You know, it needs to be up to task, because let me tell you this, boys and girls, when this shit hits the fan, and one day it will, you want stuff that's built to last. And you do get what you pay for. Okay, you can buy an O-light torch for £80. You can buy a cheap Chinese one for £5. Well, what happens if you accidentally drop it? You don't know. You reverse your car over the cheap one and it's smashed to shit. But your O-light one will be fine. That's a very vague little description, but yeah, Scott, I know what you mean, dude. Absolutely. Wow, I'm currently at 10 minutes past 11 in the chat, so I'm scrolling down, so I'm way behind what people are typing right now. I'm just looking for capital letters. What's this? How about videos following your day-to-day maintenance tasks? Teach people the basics. Well, I could do, but I don't think many people would be interested. We're talking about like cutting the grass, weeding, watering the plants, and making sure the veg is fertilized enough, all of that sort of thing. I could do that, but you know, there's loads of channels that do that sort of thing, and basically it's just, I would assume, teaching the majority of the viewers how to suck eggs, because it's quite easy, really. I like finding survival hacks. I like testing things. I like debunking and proving things, myth busting things. Here's another myth busting thing, more on the subject to it. Who saw some videos a few years ago that when you poured some rice into a saucepan and you put water on it, some of the rice floated on the top? There was videos going around everywhere saying the rice that floats on the top is plastic. So do you know what I done yesterday? I skimmed off some of the rice, put it onto a piece of paper, let it dry over a few hours, gathered it all up, put it outside and lit it. It wasn't plastic. So these are the sort of things I like to do when I see something. Oh, it could be plausible, but I don't know until I try it. I'm certainly not going to believe everything I friggin' see. It's all well and good having an open mind, but not so open that your brains fall out. Let that sink in. It's true. Yeah, Jay the Rage Redwood New. I'm guessing that's something to do with Arbus stuff. Let me see. Yeah, about the skies. This morning when I went out there, it's really hot outside. I've got every door and window in the house open, and it's got that mackerel sky everywhere. So yeah, if that wasn't there, it would be a lot hotter. Currently up here, it is 22.8 degrees inside with all of the windows and doors open. Okay, outside is a different story. I'm inland, I'm not on the coast. If you live on the coast, it's always cooler. You go inland like I am, dude, if you want to feel the heat, yeah. You want to back the steak? It is. It's called the Scott. It's £5.29, I think, for a 28-ounce rump steak, and it's easily about 2 inches thick. It's amazing. They also do, get this, a Godfather steak. That thing's a freaking bad man. That thing is like this, and that fed 3 of us at the prepper meet. My dad, my partner, and myself, with some mushrooms, I think it was, and some bread. Unbelievable. So if you see it in Aldi, it's called the Godfather steak and the Big Daddy steak. Yeah, you will save a fortune. And guess what? It's not imported from Ireland. It's not that crap Irish beef. And I'm sorry if you're from Ireland and you're offended by that, but there's certain rules and regulations in Ireland under the guise of European law which do certain things to the meat. The amount of times I've eaten Irish beef, I've always been on the toilet straight after. It's no disrespect to the Irish people. I'm just telling you the truth, what happens to me. So when you got English beef, it's awesome. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up. I'm scrolling. I'm just going to keep going until I see capital letters. I'm not even reading it because there's way too many messages in the chat. Right, what's this? Jess Pixie. The link put under for the water filter thing yesterday didn't work. Well, I'm sorry to hear that because I've been notified 4 times that 4 people have clicked on it and it works and they bought something. I can check it out. Let me see. So if I go into here, because I want to make sure that that works at least. All right, so I'm highlighting the link, which is actually in my description box. That's the stuff that appears under the videos. I paste it in. I'll press enter. No, it works. No, it absolutely works. Sorry to hear. You might want to try it again. All you've got to do is click on the link and it'll open up a new page. As soon as it opens up, it will say don't miss out, which gives you the option to subscribe to their newsletter. There's a little bit in blue saying no thanks. Okay, you click onto that, and then anything that you order on their website with my code, you're going to get 10% off. But if you wait until 5 days time, whatever it is, the 1st of July, for the first 2 weeks of July, there is another 10% off. So if you really want to get one of these water filters, which are awesome because these are made in the UK, they're not some cheap Chinese shit, right? You won't get any problems with these. They use them in Africa and Egypt for the humanitarian stuff. They sponsor all of that. It's really good. So I've just checked the link. It does work. Try again. But if you want to make your money go further, wait until anything between the 1st and the 14th of July, and you'll get 20% off instead of 10%. That really helps. So we're scrolling down. I'm glad you put that in capital letters, otherwise I wouldn't see it. When are we going to make that musical instrument a thing in the past? Well, the only way that people are going to make that a thing in the past is to physically do something about it. And I'm not going to come across as inciting, but I think anyone who just heard what I said with half a brain cell know exactly what I'm talking about. What's this? Alpha Kilo Prepper. Are you still planning or running your own survival courses? Bug out. I used to do that as a job. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Wales. That all fell through. And when you look at the implications of finding some land, hiring it or buying it, then you've got to pay insurance, and then you've got to hope and pray that every course you do is sold out. Because what I was finding for the first 6 months of 2022 was I done 10 different courses over 6 months, and every course had 1 or 2 people on there. It wasn't economically viable to do it. The only way to do it is to make sure that all of them get packed out. It's very difficult, and anyone who teaches survival knows what I'm talking about. But what I did do is I organized, and I got a good team of people to do 3 courses at the prepper meet, which just happened a few weeks ago. Okay, there will be another prepper meet in September in Wales. You pay £11 a night for 3 nights. That's £33, and you get 3 survival courses on the Saturday and the Sunday. Okay, the courses are run from midday to about 5 o'clock. So you're getting 10 hours of free courses. Okay, I went over water purification, survival kit and equipment. There was demonstrations about fire lighting in adverse weather conditions. There was first aid and how to pack and what to put in your bug out bag. And we're going to be doing many more courses. So that, I hope that answers your question. Good one. This channel is the best on. Well, thank you so much for it. I really appreciate it. It's taken a long time to get here. So yeah, I appreciate that. That's really kind. I'm just going down, looking for the capital letters. What's this? Big Berkeley's don't trust no more. Are you one about those water filters, the Berkey or Berkeley or whatever they're called? I know they're big in America. I know the UK do their own version. I don't own one. I've never used one, so I can't say yes or no about that. That's probably based on your own opinion, and you're free to express it. Hence, we are being silenced, and we have the freedom to say whatever we like. Right, here's a good one. What is a good tent for all seasons? I don't really use tents. I've used a few because I served some time in the infantry military years ago. What we used to do is we used to use bashers in harbour areas. Now, anyone in the mill will know what I'm talking about. You'll find a woodland. You'd all go in there and you'll put your shelters up, and all it is this big sheet of plastic. Okay, back in the day, it used to be a poncho. Everyone was issued a poncho. You'd open up your poncho. You would tie the hood up so the rain gets in. 2 people would sleep underneath that poncho. And the idea is what you used to do. Let me come out of the chat. It's too off-putting. You would dig what's called a shell scrape. Okay, so basically you would do like a 2 to 3 meter square hole in the ground, probably about 10 inches, maybe a foot deep. Okay, so you dig out all of that big square into the ground. You will put your shelter about 1 foot above the surface. Okay, so the idea is you and your mate got in there with a ground sheet and your sleeping bags and your foam roll mats, and you'll be underneath the ground. But when you looked up above the ground, you had about 1 foot all the way around, 360 degrees for security, because there's nothing worse than being in a shit at the fan scenario in a tent where you can't see anything. You are going to be extremely vulnerable. That's my own personal opinion. If you want to bug out and use a tent, just hope and pray that your hearing is on point. Okay, I'm not joking. For me, it's all about security, and I love being still in contact with the outside. When you're in a tent, you could be indoors. It's weird. You can't see anything. So when you're underneath a shelter sheet or a basher, as we call them in the military, you can see everything around you for security. All I know is that some Van Gogh's tents are pretty good. And what's the other one? Hildenberg or Heinenberg or something like that. I think they are pretty good, based upon videos that I've seen. I've tried the French military army tent. That's not too bad as far as tents go, but you do need to find one with a separate internal bit because they condensate like crazy. So let me just go back in to the comments. Right, let me scroll down. Oh yeah, Terra Nova. Sorry, that was the one. GTX Dutch Army bivvy bag. Yeah, the military camo canvas rubber lined Dutch 2-man ridge tent is pretty good, but you do have to season it, which means basically you set it up in your garden as good as possible, nice and straight, nice and tight, and leave it there for a year to truly season it. Okay, you can leave it through summer, winter, whatever. So what happens is over time that canvas will expand and contract and then turn waterproof. Okay, they are really good. You can pick them up for 50 quid. I don't know what they are now. I paid 20 quid for mine years ago. I've done a YouTube video on it. Now everyone's got them and using them. They are good. Terra Nova, that's it. I did do one video testing a Terra Nova tent in the woods, and they're not bad actually. They're quite well made. I used a tent recently. I had to throw it away because the strain on the zips and the fiberglass poles bends. You know, I wouldn't use a tent myself, but that's my own opinion. You're free to get a tent, of course you are. So that appears to be it as regards time. I think I've gone over stuff that I needed to do. And thank you, Karen, for that donation as well. And someone else just brought a lifesaver as well, and another one yesterday. So I appreciate that support. You guys are getting some seriously good kit and equipment. But the fundamental thing that we need to remember is freedom of speech is under attack. We are being silenced. Look at the shit show that I had earlier. I had to literally pick and choose what comments as questions to answer, because I know certain things that I say, boom, the video gets banned, which means no one gets to see it, which is pointless doing it, and demonetized. You don't earn any money. So from someone trying to earn a living full-time on YouTube, that is a big mistake. So I'm sorry that that's how it is. Lizo, enjoy it, dude. That's the cube. You can get 10% off, and I think July the 1st to July 14th, you're going to get another 10% off. So just bear that in mind. I probably, because the weather's pretty good, I might go outside and demonstrate, make a proper video about this, of how to use it. Okay, you can make a mistake, and if you choose not to read the instructions, you can break it, and that's a very expensive mistake to make. And I can tell you that because I've done it once. Oh my God, £130 filter I broke because I didn't make sure that there was water in the bottom at all times. The filter in all of these needs to be connected to water at all times. If they dry out, they break. And if they break, they're a lot of money, because them filters filter out 99.9999% of all bacteria, all viruses, all nasties. It's probably one of the world's leading in the market through all of these different tests. So well done for you guys who have ordered that stuff. And if you want to order some, double the money off next month. Everyone who supported the channel, I appreciate it. There will be a live stream this evening at 7 p.m. Okay, so I know the notifications are not getting out there because the algorithm's already told me, 97% of people don't get notified. So if you can remember, 7 o'clock, we have got some interesting things to talk about tonight. So thanks to the moderators for making sure that the idiots get kicked out because they're being disrespectful, and appreciate everyone who's donated and supported the channel buying stuff with the links below the video. It really helps a lot. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and stay funky.